for this computer. And let me bring this up. Okay. So I need to, okay, can everybody see the screen? Okay. Patti, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Can you put it on the slideshow so we don't see the side stuff?
I will. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Oh, right now. There you go. Okay. Now, where's Patti? Okay. Okay. So.
Does everyone see that next slide as well?
Okay. So everybody see the screen? The Masterclass Creative Dreaming.
Yeah, looks like they can, but since you muted everybody.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. All right. So Patti, if you want to get started, and I'm just going to keep an eye on the participants.
All right. Can I change the slide from here? Only you can.
No, you just tell me when you need it. Yeah.
Okay. You could change the slide.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just wondering if people could see these.
No, that's why I took them off. Yeah. Thanks. Okay, Patti, go ahead. And I'll keep an eye on if anybody's coming in.
All right. So welcome, everyone. This is my masterclass, Creative Dreaming for Creative Living. You could change the slide, Linda. And this is what we're going to go over tonight. We're going to talk about how I got here and how you can too, which, believe it or not, is not just coaching advice for your career or something or your life. It's really an example of how dream work can be integrated and inform you in your life. And I'm just using myself as an example. Then we're going to talk for a little while about how the ancient peoples did dream work and why it matters. A little bit of my dream philosophy, which is hot off the presses, has not been printed yet. Then we're going to crack the code. Linda has volunteered to work on a dream with me. I've read the dream, but I haven't worked on it with her. So it'll all be fresh and in the moment. And then I have an exciting announcement. So I'll share that with you when we're done. All right, next slide, please.
Okay, there you go. Sorry, Patti, I'm letting somebody in. Go ahead.
Okay. So when I began, I was just a dreamer. And I happened to hear on the radio Gail Delaney, who's a psychologist that works exclusively with dreams. And just hearing her method was so simple and easy that I actually cracked the code of my own dream. So this is a picture of a collage I made of the dream. And the dream was pretty simple. I was standing on the stage. This dream was 1994. I was standing on a stage. And actually, Linda, maybe you can enlarge so the slide itself is bigger and everyone can see it in more detail. I don't know why we see the thing that says next slide, but anyway, you can see what I did. The dream, I wrote the dream on the left, and in the dream, I'm standing in an open amphitheater, very much like the Hollywood Bowl. I grew up in Los Angeles, so it's not an unusual thing for me to dream about things in Los Angeles. And I dreamt I was on stage with someone who was very similar to Judy Garland. She might have even been singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I don't remember. When I woke up, I didn't remember. But I knew there was something. And I was right there on the stage and I couldn't remember my lines. I couldn't remember why I was there. And all the panic that goes with that was part of the dream as well. And suddenly a crow, you see the crow in my collage, a crow flies overhead and I say, oh, look, a crow. And that's apparently all I had to do. All I had to do was read the signs. And that was apparently my job. So because when my clients speak to me, I listen and I can feel their patterns forming in 3-degree. Linda, turn off your mic, please.
Yeah.
I could see patterns when my clients talk to me. And here I am peering over the boat into the, and it's from The Wizard of Oz. So it kind of tied in with Judy Garland, but I was looking deep into the water. And I was standing on the edge of a new beginning, which I just really just took, it was my favorite t-shirt. So it became this collage that represented my start. And here's the key. I kept saying yes to whatever came my way. And I have to tell you, the universe has taken me kicking and screaming in most of these ventures of mine. But I insisted for myself that I needed to say yes. So that's what got me started. Maybe the next slide for a moment, Linda, please. Oh, that's not the next slide. Okay, go back. Thank you. So that was the first dream. That was 1994. Okay, next slide. You see the tarot card for death. So we fast forward now to about 2006, and I was on a cruise around somewhere between, I don't know, around Corfu, somewhere in the Greek islands. And I had a dream where I'm walking on this campus, and a very tall being that felt not like a tall man, it felt like a being, a guide of some sort, is walking next to me. And on the campus had the feel of a quad, you know, where it's open and the buildings are surrounding it. And this man tells me, your job is death. I said, wait a minute. I work with clients all the time and they have lots of mini deaths and lots of new beginnings. Do you mean symbolically or do you mean literally? And just at that moment, there was a knock at our stateroom door. I had ordered some breakfast because we were going to go on an excursion, and I was sleeping too late. And so he woke me up and I never got his answer. So life goes on, and I helped start a hospice, and I lost a dear friend to cancer, and, you know, death seemed like it was all around me. So I thought, well, if it's not symbolic, maybe it's literal. So I went back to school, to U of T's social work department, where they offered a course in bereavement education. And I do that work still. But my clients are having mini deaths all the time. Next slide will be good. And then I went back to school for my master's. So that dream in 2006, your job is death, was right around when I was back in school. And I introduced myself to one of the new professors who was coming in the following year. At the end of the year, we had to give a presentation of something we were working on. And so he asked me who I am and what I do. And that was the end of it. You know, it was like, see you in the fall. And sometime after that, I got a phone call from a producer saying they're doing a TV show on dreams. And they wanted my professor to be part of it. And he wasn't interested. He said, but why don't you call Patti Allen? She might be interested. So being offered a TV show all about dreams, where I would be so-called expert, commenting on other people's dreams, happened in 2007. I was petrified. I said yes anyway. So every step of the way, I'm having dreams and I'm saying yes to whatever comes up in life. And what I studied when I went back to school, because you can't get a degree in just dreams here in Toronto. So I went through the classics department. All I needed was 2 professors who knew what I was talking about, and they did. One, that guy that I spoke to that gave my name to the producer, he was a medical historian, and he knew all about dreams. And I worked with a classicist from ancient Greece who knew all about Greece. And I studied what the ancient practices of dreams were, both in terms of healing and in general in Greek society, because there was a healing practice where they believed in this gentleman here, Asclepius. He was the god of healing, and he walked around with sandals and a staff, and you see there's a snake wrapped around his staff, and that is it's like a familiar, if you're familiar with that term, it's like a spirit helper. And that image became the caduceus that we still see today among medical associations and pharmacies and so on. Only it's usually 2 snakes wrapped around the staff, and the wings of Hermes on top. But that's right where it came from Asclepius. And so he had temples, healing temples, and this practice lasted in ancient Greece for 1,000 years, where people would leave their homes, they'd go on retreat at these temples, they would see Greek tragedies, they would have a cathartic experience, they would bathe in healing waters, and eventually they waited to be called into the abaton, which was the sleeping chamber of the ancient temples. And so I created, what else do you do with a useless degree? But you create oracle cards. So that's what I did based on that. And that's what we have a picture of here. But it was based on the sleeping chambers, and people would go in these. Originally, they were caves. They became more posh with time, but they would go to sleep in the cave and hope to meet the god or his snakes and wake up either cured. And there are people who claim they did. Or they would wake up with a prescription to do this and do that, and then you will be cured. And there had to be enough success that it lasted for that long, 1,000 years. And the only thing that killed it off was Christianity. Christianity historically came along. And even the early images of Jesus look kind of similar to Asclepius, walking the earth in robes and sandals and a staff and so on. So that is what I created, or what I used as the ground for this dream work that I created. And let's go to the next slide, Linda. So I call it holographic dreamwork because of the image and the way a hologram works. If you're not familiar with it, well, you probably are. And honestly, I know very little about physics. It's really the metaphor that inspired me. So in this example, you see a laser on the top right. The object they're going to photograph is that apple down in the bottom right corner. And the way they do it is with a beam splitter. So the laser, which is pure white light, comes out and it's split. And one beam of light goes to the apple and takes a photograph, and another is bounced off two mirrors. But it's almost like a secondary source of light. A hologram is never created just by taking a photograph. It's the lasers, the pure light of the laser bouncing off, and that holographic plate in the middle is a pattern that is created, that when it's viewed through a certain lens, it looks three-dimensional. You probably know holograms from your credit cards. As you turn them in the light, they look three-dimensional. And you certainly would know it if you're a Star Wars fan from that early image of Princess Leia calling Obi-Wan Kenobi for help. But here's what's unique. Not your credit card, but in the laboratory, if you cut a holographic plate or image in half, the whole image is in both halves. So you don't get half a picture and half a picture. You get two whole images, and you can keep cutting that holographic plate and always find the whole in each of the parts. And so in my work, I started looking, so many people want to have fantastic dreams, but they don't have them. They have regular, ordinary dreams. They're dreaming about their work, their life, their relationships, and so on. And every once in a while, a special dream may come in there. But I began to realize over years of practicing, and I've been doing dream work for almost 25 years now, that all of who you are is represented in each dream, each aspect, each type of dream. We can get to all of who you are in body, mind, emotion, and spirit. So we can see why dream work matters in the ancient world. But in our world, nobody's looking at dreams like this as three-dimensional. In fact, in our society, dreams are dismissed. You've heard the expression a million times, it was only a dream, go back to sleep, or it's just a dream, forget about it. Total opposite and extreme honoring and lack of honoring between ancient world and modern world. And, you know, here's why it matters. You may recall, maybe not, years ago, Viktor Frankl wrote Man's Search for Meaning. And I was going to pull it up on my computer, but I can't see it now. So I'll just read it to you. Forgive me for that. But here's the conclusion. He said that the meaning of life is found in every moment of living. Life never ceases to have meaning, even in suffering and death. But in our times, it's quite the opposite. Dreams have no meaning whatsoever. But what really happened in the ancient world is a contact boundary was created between the average man or woman and what they believed to be their God. And they sought out the spiritual. In the ancient world, dreams were thought to be messages from the God. They were thought to be as valid as any waking experience, even though they knew that, you know, it wasn't real in the same way. It's not that they were delusional, but they respected their dreams and they wanted to get messages, and it brought them in contact with what was sacred for them. And we have that opportunity to do that now, but nobody's doing it. So I created a practice for working with dreams that brings us into contact with our spirit. And the fact is, dreams are already doing that, but we just don't know how to access it. We don't know how to understand their meanings. You know, there's some things in dreams that are just so fantastical that they're either freaking us out on one hand, or they're making absolutely no sense on the other. So all of that is going on in my background, in my head. And the other piece that came in, it's like we're creating a blanket, right? We're doing a weave, and all of those factors were there. But I found as I got older, I wanted to do more and more creative work with dreams, because so much of the dream work that's available out there today is analysis. And if all we ever do is think about dreams and try to understand their meaning, it's important, but it's not the whole picture. It's not three-dimensional. It's not three-dimensional dreaming. So I started using creativity with the kick in the butt from Jill, who's here today, who's not only an artist, but an art teacher. And she said, well, I should start doing something creative with my dreams. I was so petrified. Remember, I'm going through my life basically kicking and screaming with whatever comes up. So I promptly said, okay, Jill, I'll do that. And I went home and had a nightmare. I dreamt about terrorists. So I understand that creativity doesn't come easily to all of us. In my case, it was drummed out of me in school. I remember being very creative as a child. I would write books and I would illustrate books. And, you know, the red line that teachers put through your papers when you're young was just enough to put me off trying. So it was coming back to me now. And I was reclaiming my right. It's your right as a human being. It's all of our rights to be creative. And I started applying it to dream work. And suddenly all the mental exercise of analysis was way deeper, was way more profound, was way more emotionally satisfying. So that's the work I created. And I started doing that more and more with my clients and more with myself. Let's go to the next slide. And we're going to do a little bit of dream work with Linda. So Linda, it's very brave of you to offer to do this.
It is very brave. I had to let you know. Okay.
Right. So you can, I think if people want to just see who's speaking, because everyone else is muted.
I'm just gonna pin myself here, I think. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
All right.
Okay. And I'm working with two monitors here, so it looks like I'm not looking at Patti, but So I'm going to read my dream that I asked Patti to use for these purposes.
Okay, before you do that, I just want to mention to everyone that when we do dream work, we don't ask for complete confidentiality, but we want you to, you know, because when you hear a dream, it's going to resonate with you on some level, because we all share these universal themes in life. And so if you want to share it with someone you love, go right ahead and say, I heard this dream and this is what happened, but don't say this is Linda's dream. Mm-hmm. That's the difference. Mm-hmm. So we'll ask you to do that. And by the same token, Linda, you can only share as much as you want. You don't have to necessarily tell us all the details of how this resonates for you, just enough to keep us interested.
Well, I record my dreams, and I'm curious about this one. So here goes. A woman with whom I did nursing training and I are together, and we are in hazmat suits. We go to her house and everything is covered in plastic. I was hungry and going to have a sandwich. Another woman appeared. My friend and I had been speaking about her earlier, and my friend said it wasn't good between them. They had been in a relationship. I said I'd leave, but wanted to go to the bathroom first. Then I said, on second thought, I'd go on as the house was only a little ways away. I feel disappointed.
Thank you, Linda. Do you know, did you have any awareness of where you felt this in your body?
Feel the disappointment? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Probably in my gut. I would say my solar plexus area.
Okay. So what part of that dream do you have the most curiosity or energy for?
The most curiosity is about why am I in a hazmat suit and everything being covered in plastic.
Okay. And was there anything in this dream that moved you particularly?
Moved me.
Because when I talk about what has the most energy for you, that could be curiosity, it could be excitement. But when we speak about energy, energy is also movement, right? It can move us. So did you have that feeling? Not every dream it will be, something you're aware of, but did you have that feeling?
I don't think so, Patti. It was just like an overall curiosity. I do remember having this dream. I know exactly when I had it, and it's a fairly recent dream. And I just and I've thought about it, reflected, but I just couldn't. I couldn't come up with any interpretation for myself.
And I'll just mention, this is the benefit of a dream group, honestly, because we can't always see our dreams very clearly at all. But is this something you've dreamt before? Either hazmat suits or the theme, bathroom dreams, anything like that? Okay.
No.
And would you say the feeling in the dream, I always ask a bunch of questions at first, so we gather information, was vibrationally, was it more of a poke or more of a tsunami?
Oh, okay. Just let me think about that for a second. Was it a poke or a tsunami? I would say it was a tsunami, now that you've asked me that question, because I was jolted. I do remember feeling, what's this?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So keep that energy with you.
Okay.
Run from the tsunami. No, you just want to keep that feeling in your body.
All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got it. All right. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And this woman.
My friend.
Yeah. That you did nursing training with.
Yeah.
Who is she? What's she like?
Oh, she's lovely. She's wonderful. A lot of fun. We were very, very close in training, and she's someone now that I don't talk to her from one year to the next. Like we just pick up. Yeah, she's, I have a lot of respect for her as a nurse. And as I said, we were very close and we had a lot of fun in training. And so she's a good person.
Okay, so give me 3 adjectives. describe her.
To describe her, funny, smart, funny, smart, and I know it's kind of the same, but quick-witted. She has a very quick wit.
Okay. Let's go on. Now imagine I'm from another planet and I don't live in pandemic times and I don't know what a hazmat suit is. How would you describe it?
I would describe the hazmat suit as a covering for the whole body for protection.
Okay. Did you have any sense of why she was in a hazmat suit?
Well,
you're both in hazmat
suits. We're both in hazmat suits, and no, I don't know. It's just that's how we were in the dream.
And this house you both go into, is it a house you know?
Yes, it's the house where she lives now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is everything covered in plastic in waking life?
No, it's not. But if anybody's from the East Coast, you know how everything gets covered up in plastic. But like the Chesterfields, the chairs, you know, even the dining room table and the chairs, you know, everything. The television, everything was covered in plastic. And I mean,
why is it covered in plastic? Why do you do that?
Well, people cover things in plastic to keep them good, right? So that they don't get damaged or hurt or worn. Yeah.
All right. So to keep it good or nice, protect it. Okay. And you were hungry and you're going to have a sandwich. How do you do that in a hazmat suit? Were you taking the suit off?
If I was hungry enough, Patti, I'd make sure I'd be able to make the sandwich. And in the dream, it was like I was hungry and I was thinking I was going to have a sandwich. I don't remember like going to prepare it or anything. It's just like, okay, I'm hungry and I want to have a sandwich.
Do you remember if it was the sandwich you had with you?
No, I was going to make it in her.
Okay. Yeah. And did you actually feel the hunger physically in this dream? Is it more of the idea?
It was more of the idea, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then another woman comes in.
Yeah.
This is a different woman.
Yeah.
And how do you know this woman?
Well, she was in a relationship with my friend, right? So, you know, I knew her and actually I worked with her. Yeah. So I wasn't close to her, but I knew who she was. And yeah.
And what was she like?
She was another one that was hilarious, very funny, you know, and again, she wasn't a nurse, she wasn't a registered nurse, but she was fun to be around and easy to be around. Yeah.
Okay. So they had been in a relationship, things are currently good. Correct? And now to the bathroom. You know, bathroom dreams are really common, but they're not about the same thing for everyone. It always depends on the dreamer, you know, because as I often say, so forgive me if you've heard this, but if you dream about a dog and I dream about a dog, but I was bitten by one as a kid, your dreams are going to mean something totally different than mine if we're even though we're dreaming about the same thing. So it's the same with bathroom dreams. So you were thinking you want to go to the bathroom, you leave, but then on second thought, you realize you don't have far to go. What was the disappointment that you felt connected with?
I feel disappointed that, you know, I wasn't getting to spend the time with my friend, but I just felt, well, you know, I better go and let them have some time. And yeah, so that was the disappointment.
Kind of felt like a third wheel?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
All right. So I want to ask you to close your eyes for a moment. If you're okay with that. I want you to picture the dream in your imagination. And I want you to imagine you could walk around it. The dream is three-dimensional. You can feel it. You can see it. You can sense it. You may even be able to smell the sandwich that didn't quite get made. Maybe you can even picture the bathroom. But looking at the dream all around from all different sides, what do you see? What do you feel?
The most prominent thing for me is me in this hazmat suit, and I can see myself in the dining room. It's, you know, dining room kitchen area, and it's just standing in that area in the hazmat suit. It's just kind of like I'm just there in this big thing.
Protected.
Mm-hmm.
Any sense of what you needed protecting from?
No, that's the curiosity part for me. No, I have no sense of what that would be.
It's really interesting to me that you're sitting at your dining room table in your kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling me a dream about sitting in your dining room table.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting too, Patti, because this is not normally where I sit. So I never even thought, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So no, you can open your eyes. So think about this dream in general terms.
Mm-hmm.
The most powerful not knowing is the hazmat suit. I'm also curious, if it were my dream, about the bathroom. That's also a place of letting go and release, right? So now let's see if we can build a bridge to waking life. Is there somewhere in your waking life? Well, you know, dreams can represent aspects of the dreamer. Everyone in the dream can. So maybe you're a little bit like your friend, funny, smart, quick. If you allow that to be owned by you, you may. And it's both women are kind of funny. So there's definitely a sense of humor there that you might connect with yourself. But in this dream, you're doubly protected. You're protected in the hazmat suit. Your friend is as well. So we've got two hazmat suits. But you go in the house and everything is covered in plastic.
Yeah.
More protection.
More protection.
More protection. So I'm wondering, is there some place in waking life where you feel you have the need for extra protection?
At the time, it just came to me now, at the time that I had the dream, I think I was protecting myself or shielding myself from parts of the work environment. Like that's just came to me, you know.
Yeah.
Raise that question.
And because both of these women are nurses, I would definitely think, if it were my dream, it connects to my work as a nurse.
And that, yeah.
Yeah, so you can share as much or as little as you want, of course.
Well, you know, in the past few years, I think I have shielded myself from the impact of the work environment, which I did not, when I read this dream, reading, you know, writing it out for you, I didn't really think about it. But in my waking life, definitely when I had this dream, there was trying to set up boundaries, trying to deflect, you know, that negative impact and what was coming at me. Yeah, and you're right, that resonates with me, that the people in the dream, especially if they're aspects of me, they are from the nursing profession. So that, yeah, that's what it feels like, shielding myself. You know? Yeah.
And maybe the dream's giving you the answer because of the traits in these women, to use your sense of humor.
And the other thing that you mentioned about the bathroom, Patti, I'm starting to get emotional now. So anybody that's on the call that don't know me, this, you know, this can happen. But I think when I said I'd leave, you know, but I wanted to go to the bathroom first. And when you said about the bathroom can be symbolic of letting go and release, you know, I mean, I don't remember in the dream me taking off the hazmat suit or something, but there was something there when you said that about letting go, you know, like letting go of something. And then I said I'd leave. And then on second thought, you know, I'd go on as the house, which I presumed is my house, was only a little ways away. So it's like I was leaving this place. And I chose not to go to the bathroom. So did I choose not to go to the bathroom to release? And I wanted to go home to be by myself. I don't, you know, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about bathroom dreams. The issue isn't always the same in each dream. Sometimes you can't find a place to go. Other times you find a stall in the public bathroom and the door won't close, or the toilet overflows. You know, there's just every single possible horrific scenario that goes with bathroom dreams. But really, as human beings, we have little choice in the matter. We can try to choose when and where, but not for long. So there's compelling aspects to bathroom dreams.
Patti, Charlene sent me a direct message. Charlene, I'm just gonna, is it okay if I ask you a question? Because it just triggered something, that triggered me, but so Charlene said, was the third woman in a hazmat suit, do you know her? She was not in a hazmat suit, and yes, I did know her, you know, and when you, when I saw that question go by there, Patti, what came to my mind was when I felt disappointed, and you said, you know, you said, what was that like? And the disappointment that just came to me when Charlene asked that question is that I was feeling disappointed that I was not going to spend more time with my friend who was in the hazmat suit. So it's like having someone, you know, you're together in this experience, you know, like with this workplace stuff. So I think, or what's coming to me now is the disappointment about not being able to be with this person that I respect and I like and all that sort of thing, and probably share how I was feeling about responding in this work environment, if that makes any sense.
Sure it does. And it's your dream. If it makes sense, you're going to have a felt sense in your body. Some shift, something will feel like it's been released.
Well, it's definitely making me feel very emotional, Patti, you know, and again, I mean, we don't have to get into the extent of that, but there's something there that I think I need to, you know, like think a little bit more about.
So while we can't do it now,
if
we can do, you know, what we, you know, if we had the time and we weren't, you know, thousands of miles from each other, we would do something creative.
Yes.
But in the moment when we don't have access to art supplies, you can still make a plan. So how would you like to work with this dream? Honor it, honor the message that's coming to you, but also how would you like to creatively work with the dream when you have the chance?
Well, I will say, since I had that dream, like things are changing drastically for me in terms of work and all that sort of thing. One of the things that I do is do collage work. So, you know, I think with intention is to create a collage around this dream and just see what comes up.
That would be great. I find collages are amazing in bringing out what needs to be brought out. you open to picking a card?
Absolutely, Patti. Yes. So, okay.
So these are the Abaton keys, my oracle deck that I created based on this dream wisdom of the ancient world. So I'm going to pick one for you, Linda.
Yeah.
You can always do this for yourself, and you can also work the card into your collage. You got number 44, the Wounded Healer.
Sacred Heart of God, Patti. Okay, I have to share this quickly with the group. I did my soul coaching course with Patti, and the very first card that she pulled for me was the Wounded Healer. And the Wounded Healer, you know, is associated with nursing and I mean a lot of other professions in that.
The Wounded Healer is someone who works through their own pain and trauma, and then holds the lantern up for someone else to walk on the same path, and they really shine the light so that others can heal as well, which is for sure your calling. So there's something about that card, and you have the book that goes with the deck, so you can read more about it, remind yourself what it's about. You can also look at the number of the card, number 44, and you know, look at the numerology of that double number. But it may work its way into your collage. I know I've used the cards in that way too. And it's a great creative way. And there are any number of things you can keep on doing. Sometimes you go to do one thing and it brings to mind another thing you want to do with the dream too. All right, so if you could make a bumper sticker of the message of the dream and put it on your car, what would it say? Heal the wounds. Heal the wounds. Heal the wounds. With or without a hazmat suit? With or without a hazmat suit, exactly. Yeah. There you go. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Sam just offered a comment. She said the third person who was a nurse wasn't protected. You want to help wounded nurses. Okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Sam. Okay, thank you, Patti, very much. You're welcome. Thanks for being my guinea pig. I'm gonna invite anybody to work with Patti. I'm going to back to the slideshow. Back to the screen, yeah. And so there we go. And share. And now we'll go. Okay, Patti. Okay. Oh, I gotta take myself off pin. Yep. Yeah, so this is my new dream logo. And what I created after sitting around on my derriere for, you know, the first 9 months of COVID, I gave birth to triplets. And the reason, you know, here I say I've been saying yes all along, but the fact is I've been saying yes, but just as often as I say yes, and writing some dream courses so I could teach people how to do what I do was, let's just say it was a difficult birth. And so one course that I created is all about using these ancient dream steps from Greece out of the ancient world into our modern lives and how to use that wisdom for ourselves individually. But the next course I created is Creative Dream Coach Training. And that's my new beautiful dream catcher. And this is a course for either lay or professionals who want to integrate creative approaches to dream work into the work they're doing or for themselves. Next slide, please. This course will have 5 units. The ancient world is a kind of a bonus, but I drew it in concentric circles so that we wouldn't think of dream work in a linear way. So the ancient world is our core, and we've got these layers built around it. And so then is now the ancient ways. People are still yearning for the same things. And so how can we use these ancient tools to help people? That is the basis of that first course, Ancient Dreams for modern dreamers, but I'm including it in the training as well. So we've got the ancient world, we've got modern dream work, because you really can't do dream work without learning what's going on out there in the field. So we teach you all about that, but we still take the approach that the dreamer is the final authority. And so we're not taking the position of dream experts, telling someone what their dream means. We're guiding them into how to find their own meaning in a creative way for themselves. So the next level is holographic dreamwork, which you began to get the introduction to today, and this takes it further and how we can really turn the dream into a three-dimensional experience. And then how to run dream groups. And next, not because it's last in importance, but it's more like the connective tissue that integrates all of this, and that's the layer of creativity. So how can we use creativity, and it may not be collage work, it could be poetry, music, movement, all sorts of things. How do we really embody the dream? How do we look at the dream in all its dimensions? And the way in is creativity. That is, as far as I'm concerned, the way. So that's the course. And I'm very excited to bring it to the world. There's a third course, which is a certification program. So if somebody wants to take this course, the Art of Creative Dream Coaching, for themselves or to use with their clients, they're free to do so. But if you need certification, the third level includes a lot more one-on-one mentoring with me. So that's what the course is all about. And I'm very excited because I think this is something that everyone is sitting on in one way or another. You may not have a course you want to write, but you might have a masterpiece inside you. And if it weren't for those early dreams that I shared with you, my direction might have been different altogether. But by working with those dreams, getting the message, and then saying yes, I was able to create a dream life that I never even dreamed of. I never dreamed of radio or TV. Oh, I've also done radio. The next radio is actually a podcast with Erin Davis from CHFI, formerly of CHFI in Toronto. And she has a new podcast coming up. So again, petrified, said yes anyway. So this is what happens with dream work. You understand yourself in your deepest sense, in your deepest desires and most clarity around who you are and what you want in your life. You will get those messages by doing dream work for yourself. But then, like the wounded healer, you can then walk with someone else who wants to do the same thing. And so I'm very happy and excited that I finally got it done. And it's out there for you. Because it's my very first time, I'm offering these courses at a very low rate because the first cohort is going to be recorded, but thank you. You're also going to be giving me intense feedback about what, if anything, needs to be changed. So you're going to have a lot of say in how all the future courses look. So we're starting. We're going to do this. Starting May 25th, Tuesday nights, 9 Tuesday nights. And you can go to my website and click on trainings and you'll see all the information right there. And I hope you'll register. It's all online. You don't have to have contact with me, although it's way more fun. But, you know, until we conquer this nasty beast called COVID, we're going to just zoom our way through life. So that's my exciting news. So we're going to stop the recording. Thank you for making it this far. And, you know, bring yourself back if you're off camera. And if
Patty, you somehow got muted. Can you? Yeah.
Okay. So
we're gonna stop the recording.
Right.
Okay. And let me do that.